how are Americans like this one group of people we're talking about who are in so much jeopardy right now? Anna Navarro, we have political commentator, and Matt Schlapp, former political director for President George W. Bush. Anna Navarro, how did you take the line?
You know, with a shrug. I mean, it's just, one more line from Donald Trump and him giving red meat to his base. Look, a lot of the Dreamers felt that it diminished their particular plight. I think that the line is fine. Americans are dreamers too, and dreamers are Americans too, in every way but one. I think we should not get hung up on one line. We should not get hung up on the semantics. And the focus for anybody who wants this issue solved should be on pressuring Congress and pressuring this White House and doing everything that you can in the next several weeks and several days so that they reach a bipartisan deal that can pass muster and get the votes necessary to make it to the president's desk. Let's not waste time on this, word debate. Nobody even remembers what President Trump said 24 hours ago. We are now focusing on Russia. The focus needs to be on getting a law passed.
But there's a reason, Matt, that the second part of that clever line that Anna came up with wasn't there. Americans are dreamers, and dreamers are Americans too. He didn't say the second part, because there's a big contingent in your party who doesn't want to call them dreamers. They want to call them illegals, and they don't want them to be citizens. They want them on the way out of this country. So where does this go?
Well, I mean, the law is the law, and they're not here illegally because Barack Obama gave them temporary legal status.
Deferred action.
That's right. So now
that's the DA of DACA.
That's right. So now we're getting to the point. I do think, look, Dreamers was a clever political title. I think these people, if they want to be American citizens, I think that's a great aspirational goal. And we're going to see if Congress, which is the right way to do this, is a legislative question. The president does not have the power to wave a magic wand and make them citizens or give them a pathway to citizen. This is for Congress to handle. So now it's appropriately in their hands. And by the way, the deal that the president put out there, according to one of your rivals, let's just say, network news poll said 72% of Americans think that the Trump immigration plan is a good plan. So I think it actually does strike a balance. And by the way, as a conservative here in this panel, this is controversial. The idea of giving any single one person who came here illegally the ability to earn their legal status is a controversial thing with Republicans and with conservatives, and the president is willing to bend and give in order to get something that he wants, which is real border security on the southern border.
Anna, do you think a deal gets done that has a pathway to citizenship?
I hope so. I hope so. Look, asking for $25 billion for a wall is a lot of ransom money when you are using the Dreamers as hostage. And I think a lot of people on the left, a lot of people who are immigration advocates, a lot of moderate Republicans who want to see the Dreamers get citizenship are willing to budge despite fiscal conservative concerns, despite the concern of, what does that mean? Why aren't we spending that money on the infrastructure? What does it mean regarding eminent on the border, and how are we going to deal with those ranchers that have land there? There's a host of issues that come along with that. But people are willing to do that. The more problematic issues are the other two, the visa lottery and the family reunification or chain migration, depending on what side of the issue you're on. It's what you call it. I think they should go for a clean DREAM Act for wall. People have moved on the wall.
All right, what about that
Trump
idea, Matt?
It's not going to happen.
Why? Why isn't it good enough?
Well, because there are too many conservative Republicans, especially in the House, but also in the Senate, that they're not going to strike that deal, Chris.
But why? Why? What's the rationale?
Because the rationale is the following, which is we continue to allow people to come into this country. Sometimes they get temporary protective status, and then there's an immediate pressure campaign to give them a pathway to citizenship. And also when it comes to questions of chain migration, which is beyond the nuclear family, let's make this clear, these are cousins, these are other distant relatives.
Very few cases. Very few cases.
But Chris, well then they should be fine with doing this. So this shouldn't be controversial.
No, because they want to end it all together.
Let me finish the answer.
Listen, it includes immediate family, and it includes parents, and it includes siblings. There are no cousins included.
And you got a 5 million backlog of applications because it's so restricted.
It's a 15-year wait.
Hold on, Matt, go ahead.
No, if it's not very many cases, then this should be an easy thing for them to give in on. And the other question about the diversity. I know they don't. Well, then they're not going to get a deal, Chris. So this is where we all are. I know you all think that the cause is the Dreamer cause. But there are a lot of us on the other side of this question who believe that simply, just like Ronald Reagan did in 1986, taking care of a population that is here illegally and giving them legal status without solving the fundamental problems in the immigration system and securing the southern border will be right back here again, and we'll be right back here again. And this is not a good way. By the way, there are people waiting in line to be American citizens. They shouldn't be allowed to be cut in line by these other folks. It's not fair. The first
you guys
American
want to reduce legal immigration also, so they probably will be on that line forever.
No, Chris, I don't. No, I don't. I'm a pro-immigration
Okay, let me just say this.
And a last word, we got to go.
There's a lot more that goes into fixing the immigration system, modernizing the immigration system, making it meet modern-day American demands than these four things.
Right.
And so, I'd say handle DREAM Act and Wall now, and then go on to comprehensive immigration reform, and handle the lottery visa, and handle family reunification, and handle all the other aspects.
Well, I hear you. Let's leave it there, guys. We're going to have to see. Everybody says they're going to get something done by the deadline. We'll see what that is. Lady?